And so I just quickly thought I would touch on the changes that have come into place. I actually don't think this is a complete and exhaustive list because I created one that was much longer than this. But here's some of the changes that have come into our market since 2015. We suggest have the purchase price, land transfer tax, and GST for new properties. There were exemptions on land transfer tax for new properties under 750,000 for brand new properties. But just as a reminder, as we come into an election time and we're thinking about how can we better solve and help those in need, the housing market in general. And here are just some of the changes that have happened since 2015. So you have the foreign buyers tax in 2016, the Vancouver empty homes tax was introduced in 2017, the BC speculation and vacancy tax was 2018, the BC school tax is just basically an ongoing property tax on luxury homes. There's an increase in the foreign buyers tax in 2018, increased property transfer tax. So if your property was valued higher, you pay even more tax when there's a land transfer, i.e. you're purchasing the property. The mortgage stress test came into play in 2018, although I argue that's actually, it hasn't been a bad thing and probably why we're being able to muddle through this really high time with interest rates. We had an increase to the empty homes tax. So that's the Vancouver empty homes tax in 2021. The feds introduced the underutilized housing tax, which is like the speculation and Vancouver empty homes tax in 2022. They've done such a bad job informing the public about it. They've actually had to postpone filing a couple of times because not a lot of people are aware about that tax, and they had a hard time defining what is a partnership and who had to file. So that's been a bit of a mess. And then that's fallen into the federal foreign buyer ban in 2023, following up with the Airbnb ban that came into place in 2024. There was the announcement of the flipping tax in 2024, and I believe there was a federal flipping tax that was announced a while ago, had to do when a lot of properties were being assigned in the past. And of course, there's the increased capital gains inclusion rate. So gains over 50%, where now 67% are included. And of course, anyone that is a small business and has a corporation is 100% taxed. So these are the wonderful things that have come into play. And I've recently heard of another tax that the Liberal government is potentially considering, and that is a home equity tax. And so that is a tax on any home that is valued at $1 million or above. Please keep in mind, this is a rumor. This is a conversation we heard that they had with Generation Squeeze, which is a lobbyist group for young people who feel that prices are out of touch with reality. And they feel that a tax on your home, if it's over $1 million on an annualized basis, you could get taxed and potentially defer that payment, but of course, it be paid upon a sale. So you can see here are some of the potential values at which property valuation, how much you would be taxed that valuation, and what that could look like on an annualized basis. This is not a tax that has been announced. It is just a rumor that this might be coming. Of course, the other side of this is the tax on your gains. So if you're selling your principal residence, that you could be taxed on that gain, because currently it is not taxed. So there's, a lot of rumors going on with further taxation. Obviously, our governments need to continue to raise revenues for all of the things that they want to spend money on. It'd be really wonderful to hear programs where they want to be scaling back or be more effective with their use of capital, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that shows up. So just something to consider when you're doing your tax planning or thinking about your future. Obviously, some of the unintended consequences here is a lot of people would pile into the homes that are under $1 million, which would be very challenging because those are the properties that we're trying to get Generation Squeeze into. I'm Christine Kopr with Sotheby's Realty in Vancouver, BC, and I look forward to connecting with you next month. Cheers.